Hey guys, what's going on? Oh, we got it going right? Yeah, we do. Tripping over my own bike. Ugh, it's a mess in this garage. Alan here, Gibson Garage YouTube channel. We are working on the Ford Ranger again today. It's getting a water pump. But it's going to be pretty simple. And luckily these pumps aren't even very expensive. So we're going to start by removing this hose, getting it out of our way so we can remove the belt. Then we're going to take this tool and hook it up to the front of the pulley there. We're going to want to be careful because I heard these break 100% of the time because they're plastic. However, the center is still steel. We'll see. Hopefully we'll get it out of there. Then we're going to drain the power steering pump from the return hose. Let me get this light on it. So we got a return hose down there, and it actually runs over and goes to the cooler, and we'll disconnect it at the cooler underneath the truck just because it's easier to get to. While that's draining, then we'll remove the pulley and hope it doesn't break. We shouldn't have to remove the shroud. There might be enough room to get in here without removing the shroud or the fan. So this top one here goes to the bottom of the reservoir. Ooh. That's like the first time I might have removed a fluid carrying system and not made a complete mess. Now we can get rid of oh, no battery. And just when you think you're all ready, have all your ducks in a row. Oh, there's a tensioner straight down there. If you got a big enough wrench or crescent wrench that fits in there, you can just pop the fan loose, but you'll still need the belt on there to hold the pulley still. So that's probably the easier way. Find a wrench. And this isn't a how-to on how to remove the belt, so we'll just have to imagine it. It's a 3/8 drive, so you don't need a socket, just a nice long ratchet. And we're gonna slip it off this smooth pulley. Boom. Set that over there. We need to back this screw all the way out, like all the way past flush. Just get it completely out of the way. Now, I'm gonna slide this thing over the whole assembly like that, and that'll hold it there in place. Okay, so we can see the tool set up here, and if it's set up properly, and it is short end on the pulley, this actually slides, right? But even though it's tight on there, so. And then what we're going to do is just hold this still, tighten this in, and it should pull the pulley off without anything breaking, hopefully. And if you can get your hands on one of these ratcheting wrenches, that's going to be the way to do it. This outer one's a 5/8, and the large one is What is that, 13/16 I think it was. Trying to use this stupid tool always makes me go cross-eyed. Takes me a second to figure it out. Oh, that's the sound we wanted. Oh, not that sound. Oh no, it's backwards. I don't get it. Yeah, that's coming off. Okay, so this will just take about 2 hours. So hang in there. Now's the time. If you had a really good air ratchet, slim, you might be able to fit that in there. It's about to come off now. Nice and light. It is plastic. Fitting this around made it drain more. I'm gonna pop that bottom wrench or that bottom line loose. That's the pressure line here. Again, I'm all about no mess on this job. It's gonna be an 18mm flare nut wrench. God, get it back to me now. Ah, yeah. It went on way easier. Why is it stuck? Jeez, Lindy. Yeah, really. What's the point? Hey, so fast. Hey, have fun. Whatever. Then we'll crack those. Now I think we're ready. These bolts are going to be, let's say, 17. Yeah. Uno, dos, tres. There's not a lot of room for this pump over here. You got this AC line in the way. And there's something underneath. Some sort of metal bracket. It's definitely not moving. And yeah, probably should have taken off that return hose. Twisting it now though gives me a lot more room to get to that clamp actually, so that's not a big deal. Let's take it off. Get out. Oh, I hate it. Oh, the hose clamp's stuck on something down there. Dang it. There we go. Get out of the way. Oh yeah. Look at that, no mess. No mess. All right, time for the part comparison. Woo! They look the same. Yep. Okay. remanufactured if you can't tell. Let's see, a little bit in and out, but no, it spins a lot better. And this one feels like pebbles grinding. Time to feed her in. And that bracket I was talking about right there that my hose is touching, that's a shock absorber for the engine. Like, how cool is that? He wants to replace these motor mounts too, so I'm gonna have to look into that. Get that. And viola. See if we can get a bolt started. Sorry. Does it feel like I'm breathing over your shoulder? Now they say, or in the instructions, and yes, I read the instructions. I always do, because there's always something you didn't know, right? You think you knew. You didn't fucking know that. Don't lie. They want you to vacuum bleed these with like a vacuum pump. And also because of the style of pump that it is, it's a slipper vane instead of a rotary vane. The slipper vanes with a spring pressed against the vane up against the cam is inherently noisier than the OEM design. That combined with the aluminum body instead of the factory cast iron, it's going to be noisier, they said. I don't know, we'll just have to see what they mean by noisy, because I'd hate to think that we're still going to have that whining noise. That was the point, was to get rid of that. Which honestly, it's crazy. It sat for, I don't know how long it's been, a couple weeks, at least 2 weeks, right? At his house. It ran great. It started right up and drove it over here, right? But the pump isn't actually that noisy at all anymore. You can still kind of hear it, but, and it works great. But I'd hate to think that, I almost called him up and been like, you know, it's not that bad, but, and then I like turned the wheel and thought, no, it wasn't making any sounds at all before. So now we're gonna put on the pressure line. Aha, look at this. Now this wasn't really leaking before. I mean, there's some grime here, but it wasn't like actively leaking. This O-ring is damaged, and it did come with O-rings right here. So we're gonna place white for white, and maybe the black O-ring should go, probably goes on the inlet or the other end of that high pressure line. No O-ring inside the original. So you want to be careful with this O-ring because it's a nylon O-ring and it doesn't want to go over the threads. You're not gonna just want to roll it over and force it because you'll scar it up. So you need to stretch it. So yeah, thicker diameter. I'll start slowly. That's not stretching at all, you bastards. I'll have this thing. And I can slowly stretch it out like that. Just let it hang out right there for a sec. So yeah, that's far enough up there. It was last time. You just getting it from here to there fast enough before it shrinks back down. That's the trick. Maybe I should just cut it. No, that's not happening. Ooh, actually got pretty far that time. One thread. So here's what we're gonna do. had it. Hate it when it slips out. There we go. Now we'll let that relax.
Mom had gotten these at her work, but she's not doing that job anymore, so she's giving them to me for the bathroom.
Curtains?
And she's gonna get the curtain rod for it too.
Wait. Okay.
It's got blackout panels and sheer panels.
For the bathroom, huh?
Mm-hmm. So I don't have to use a thumbtacks or anything anymore.
Nice. Yes, guys, we're moving on. Moving on up. Got real curtains and curtain rods over our bathroom window. That thread's got a little gross. Let's clean that up. When it's all together, usually I spray some brake clean all over the place to clean up the job, you know. Finish tightening up the pressure line from down here with a normal wrench because it's just easier to work with. And then I'll grab the right flare nut wrench. Oh, there's rain. It's like, what the hell is leaking? You know, I'll grab the right flare nut wrench to really cinch it down tight. And then while I'm down here, I'll hook up these two return lines that go to the oil cooler. Like so. I don't think, yeah, I just put it in my way, so that's fun. All right. Well, I had to go find my own bolt because in the kit, the one that was in there was bent. And that's actually how I got it for free. The customers damage them and return them. Well, they go in the dumpster and I go dumpster diving. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? Don't judge. But it's a 3/8 by 16, and I've actually had on my GM, it came with a bolt. And like this square nut. A bolt and a square nut and a washer, and that's all you needed to install the pulley back onto the pump. And I did coat the threads and both the inside of the pulley and the shaft of the pump in copper anti-seize. So copper anti-seize for obvious reasons, for the lubrication. Hopefully I can install this and not gall anything up, and then copper will hold up to the heat. There are other anti-seizes, but copper's a higher heat. And it would be ideal to find like a, you know, grade 8 or 10, but all I could find was a stainless. So, or you could get the tool without a bent bolt in it. You could. So once you got that bolt bottomed out into the pulley, you can push this larger one all the way forward and start screwing it in. Now the key to this piece here is that there's a bearing inside, and it allows the nut to spin here without galling anything. It's going on pretty nicely. And just like the other one, when it came off, it was flush to the snout. So that's how we'll put it on and make sure the belt doesn't go flying off. We'll eyeball it, make sure it looks right. This is usually a lot more difficult, actually. We'll see. Once you start getting more of the pulley on there, it does get more difficult. There it goes. Yay. We got the pulley on and the belt's on, easy peasy. Just took the lid off. Gonna fill it up with transmission fluid. Should be Mercon. And then we'll let that gravity bleed while I'm putting on the fan and the shroud. And I'm also going to change out his, well, all of his motor mounts really, but his transmission mounts in today. So, oh, look, I went and did it too much. Dang, can't talk and do that at the same time. We're bubbling. It's bleeding. It's murder. I still made a mess. Shit. And now we can slide in the fan and the shroud. And remember, together now. And you gotta kind of wiggle these ears past the hoses and don't hit the fan. Oh, I knocked you guys over. Alright, so I'm going to turn it on for just a second here, get that fluid level to go down. I'm not going to turn the wheel or even run it for more than a second, but... Alright, let's go take a look at it. Oh yeah, it went down real fast. Okay, that's good. We'll fill it back up. Hopefully without overflowing this time. I'll do that a couple times until it stops sucking it down, and then I'll start turning the wheel back and forth. Well, those instructions weren't kidding, man. It's still kind of noisy for a brand new pump. And but we'll let it sit overnight. Let the fluid de-aerate, if that's a word. And then we'll start it up in the morning. He's developed a coolant leak right after he started it. The heater control valve right on top, the little 4-port valve, vacuum operated, just started leaking right out of the shaft that spins, or you know, the selector shaft. So, and it was leaking pretty bad. He can't drive like that. So it's only 15 bucks or so. We'll replace that, throw some fresh coolant in it. But that's gonna do it for this video, guys. I appreciate you hanging in there. Comment below if you've done anything like this and how it was for you. Was it that easy? How you did it? Was there an easier way? Yeah, anything. Please like and subscribe, and also hit the join button down below if you want to do that. As soon as I get some members, I'll start putting up like members only videos. There are a couple already, so you know, you be the first member. I don't want to promise anything, but you know, I need to make stickers. I need to design some stickers, guys. Gotta get